episode of Break the Cycle with me, your host, Joshua Smith. Hope everyone's having a wonderful evening tonight. I am aware that we did not do a show last week. I am going to try and punish you with 3 shows this week to make up for at least one of those shows. I was very, very sick. My family, all of us, all the kids, even my daughter that doesn't live with us and her daughter got the flu. She tested positive for influenza A, so I'm guessing that's what we all had as well. It sucked. I had to work through it, and I just did not have the energy to do a show, unfortunately. But we're back, baby. We are back. I hope everybody can hear me. I hope we're not boomering any sound tonight. I don't know.
We should come up with a contingent plan if you're not feeling well, that AJ and I can do something.
That's frightening.
Yeah, well,
that's frightening.
I think that would be a really entertaining show.
Who the fuck would want to watch that show, dude? Let's be honest here. Guys, we got a great show for you tonight. No guests, but we're gonna talk about important stuff going on in the world, and there's a lot of it. Of course, before we get started, let's talk about my good friend and partner on the show, TopLobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, where you can get this great Scott Horton in the Wars hoodie that you see me wearing tonight by using BTC at checkout for a 10% discount. No audio issues. Okay. You can also get all of Top Lobster's new gear up to 30% off 2 weeks before it goes to the general public by joining the Patreon or the Subscribe Star, becoming a member of the YouTube channel by hitting join under all of our YouTube videos. Of course, if you're doing $5 or $10 a month for the show and you're buying Top Lobster's new gear and getting 30% discount, you're actually saving yourself money and supporting both of us. So it's a really, really good trade-off. And we appreciate when you guys support the show. I know I'm not the best at taking care of my patrons. I need to do better. I need to do more. It's just been a crazy 2 years, man. It's fucking wild for me. I went from being a bachelor to having 7 kids in the house. You know, it was rough. I'm still trying to learn how to do it correctly, but every day it's like a labor of love. I can't be mad about it. And of course, executive producers of the show, AnthemPlanning.com, for all your emergency and crisis planning needs. Check them out today. See what they can do for your business, home, or personal life. They help organizations solve unsolvable problems in the technology and HR arenas. Their team leads by example. Anthem consultants have led their own organizations throughout demanding periods of change. Now they help clients succeed in the face of technology and personnel challenges. Not personal challenges, but I know Amy Lepore pretty well, and I bet if you were having some personal challenges and you were like, Amy, help me, she'd find a way to help you, because that's just the kind of person she is. She's a great person. And with a great business, a great husband, great family. I don't know. She almost makes me think everybody from Delaware is just great, but then you realize that Joe Biden's from there, so it makes things a little different for you. Guys, they released papers this month saying that the CIA killed JFK. Pretty crazy shit. Ryan, what's going on, man? Let's check in with my wonderfully haired, beautiful co-host, Mr. Ryan Kurtzer. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, they released already known information. What a shocker. Almost like that's been happening pretty consistently the past couple of months.
I was so shocked.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if it's going to be, I mean, it's been about 2 years now that they released that they have evidence of UFOs, and nobody even said shit about it. Like, nobody cared. Everyone's just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, that one would surprise me more than the CIA unaliving JFK.
I mean, you got to think about how vast the universe is, right? I mean, this is like a very vast. I mean, we can't see, an eighth of the universe. I mean, that's obviously terrible math. Way less than that. Right. I mean, it's a huge, vast, never-ending system.
It wouldn't surprise me if there were life on other planets. It would surprise me if they came and visited us, because we fucking suck.
Hey. By the way, my 2-year-old is watching the show tonight. He did not want Daddy. That's why we're running a little late. He did not want Daddy to come down here.
I didn't think it'd be Ryan that would break the rule first.
Yeah, I did. I knew it would be. He gets all pumped up. I pump him up. I like gas the homie up. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And he gets all excited. When he's just like talking normal, he doesn't cuss. Then he comes down here with me and he starts dropping the F word all the time.
I do.
Yeah, okay. All right, mister. I didn't have a beer till I was 21. My other great co-host, as per the usual, Mr. AJ Fisher, sir. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Good. How are you liking our Iowa weather?
Dude, I fucking hate this shit. I mean, I hate this stuff, dude. My 2-year-old's watching the show tonight, so I'm trying not to cuss.
I really like it. I do, and I like to drive in it, too.
Do you really?
It's weird.
You actually enjoy this weather, dude?
Yeah.
It's brutal.
I genuinely enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
You guys are weird, dude.
Wait,
it's sadistic.
Last Friday, I was taking a car into the mechanic, and I didn't have any other way to get home from the mechanic but to walk, so I walked about 4 miles.
Yeah, but that wasn't as cold as it is this week, though.
in, I don't know, it was 10 degrees.
No, it hasn't been 10 degrees until this week.
It was probably around 30.
Yeah, it was high 20s, low 30s.
It probably still sucked though.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad because I was prepared for it, so I threw on extra layers after dropping the.
We were like in the teens this week, and then dropping down below zero tomorrow and the next day, and maybe Friday as well. And that is just not okay with me. In fact, the only reason I'd ever run for president is to outlaw this kind of weather.
Sure.
Like, literally, I'd create like an executive order banning anything under 60 degrees. You know what I mean?
Pro global warming.
Yes, I am pro global warming. Correct. Yeah.
Iowans
I don't
are.
give a shit about
It's
the
a
polar
fact.
bears at all.
I mean, if you care about exclusively human life, you're probably pro global warming because less people die of heat than of cold every year. So
Thank you for that.
with
Ian.
a
We
very
appreciate it.
small
Oh, yeah.
uptick in temperature this winter, it's going to save about 700,000 lives globally.
Yeah, I'm pro global warming.
Yep.
I'm anti polar bear. And I'd like to see what's over the ice wall.
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure that there's it's just a drop off. Once you head over the ice wall, it's just drop off there.
Well, some of us have cell memory that remembers the ice age, and so we're averse to it. We know that's a bad thing.
that sounds like white supremacy to me, buddy.
No, not at all.
I saw a meme today, and it was
I do have blue eyes.
Yeah, I do too. You don't have blue eyes. You're
No, I
you're
have
a dark,
brown eyes.
You're a dark brownie over there. Yeah, we're the ones with actually blue eyes is a genetic anomaly. It's like a
It's only 6,000 years old.
yeah, and it's literally like a it's
We're all
like,
related.
yeah,
So
it's like a mess up.
it
like a
is kind of a
genetic mess
group.
up.
I mean, genetically, it would be kind of a group. Blue-eyed people would be a group, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we should be a protected group, I think. And I think we're probably, I mean, we're more of a minority than most other minority groups.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I think
true.
that we need to have some kind of protections for blue-eyed people. And I think that people should not miscolor my eyes ever.
Right.
That's not right.
Oh,
They're not hazel. They're
on
not
your
green.
email signature, you should have the color of your eyes mandated.
Blue. It'll be my sign at work from now on is going to be like blue/azul. That's
Yeah.
going to be
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was thinking about like the stupid pronoun stuff today because I could very well see my workplace mandating that crap in the near future, and I was thinking about kind of a clever way to subvert it, and because they either want you to go with it or push directly against it so they can identify you as in-group or out-group. Well, I was thinking of just putting, you can assume my pronouns.
Yeah. I give you permission to assume my pronouns.
Yeah.
Whatever you think I am to you.
Yep.
That's the reality of it at the end of the
like it,
day.
yeah.
That's the reality of it at the end of the day too. Like I don't really give a shit. Like listen, dude. I know I talk a lot of shit on the show and on Twitter especially because I'm just I'm a shit stirring troll on Twitter. I enjoy it. I know I talk a lot of shit. Okay. But at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what pronouns you want to use. Like, and for the most part, I'm going to be like, all right, cool, whatever. You know, that's cool.
You just
And
can't force them.
We were talking about this before the show, how there's a prominent libertarian member of the Iowa Party who is a trans person who actually, after all as nice as I had been to this person for months and months and months, and my fiance worked on her campaign and all this stuff, I never misgendered her, I never dead named her, I never did any of that shit. And then she signs a petition that basically stated I was a bigot or an anti-Semite or some stupid shit like that. But, you know what I mean? And I'm like, really? After like, I'm the one person here from the caucus who was like nice to you, and then now
Everyone's been nice to this person we're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Everyone's
I mean,
been nice.
at the election event, I had a great conversation with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
she
blew my mind
approached
that-
me about that specifically,
Yeah.
and she was like, "I didn't really understand what I was signing."
Sure, you didn't. It literally
But,
called me
like-
out by name and it was because I had talked smack about the 19th Amendment, which I hold true to my principles. I think I take a very Lysander Spooner approach to the Constitution of the United States of America. Okay, whether the Constitution be one thing or another, it's either authorized the type of government we have now, or it's been powerless to stop it. Either way, it's unfit to exist. That's how I feel about the Constitution. I don't care how mad constitutionalists get at me for that. Okay, I don't care how mad the losers and the loser brigade get at me for having that view of the Constitution. That's how I feel about the Constitution. I would abolish the whole thing. I would abolish the federal government, and at minimum, we start over from the principles that the country is founded on. At minimum, okay. But this system is no longer working. It is no longer working for anybody whatsoever except for the ultra elite. Okay, this is somewhere where I see eye to eye with the left. Okay, I agree that the ultra elite have all the fucking power in this country, and everybody under them is getting destroyed. But we separate on who's causing that, right? You think that it's the ultra elite that's causing that. They're taking advantage of a system that the government has put into place to cause that situation. Okay.
How do you separate the government?
Hold on, don't cut me off. Okay. I'm on a rant here. You got to let me start my show with my rant. Okay. They have taken competition out of the market. Okay. So when you have something like Amazon, and then you want to start something like Amazon, they regulate you out of the market. I mean, what is it? Like 85% of startups in most spaces like that are regulated out of the market in the first year. Okay. It's the same thing with charity. Okay. We got the left and especially mutualists, right? Always talking about what do they call it? Community action and mutual assistance and all this stuff. That's great. I think that's great. But they're like, oh, but people aren't charitable. That's bullshit. There's hundreds of thousands of people out there that are charitable, that want to be helping more, right? And what happens is you're like, hey, I'm going to start this charity organization. I'm going to have a 5% overhead. Okay. That's going to sustain my family and run my business. Okay. And then I'm going to use 95% of the proceeds that I raise to help for this cause. Okay. Let's say it's disaster relief, because that's a popular one, or even cancer awareness or breast cancer awareness or heart disease or any of these things, right? What happens is go try and start a charity. It shouldn't be that hard, because all you have to do is get people that are charitable to invest in your company, right?
I want to.
Oh, we all do. Well, I would love to do that. I would love to spend my day making calls, raising money, and helping the less fortunate. I would love to do that. But I understand how much bureaucratic red tape there is and how many regulations there are to doing something like that keep you out of the market. Meanwhile, the government is forcing the Red Cross down our throat with like an 80% overhead. They're bringing hurricane victims styrofoam plates, right, with like one chicken nugget, one biscuit, and 2 or 3 fries, and saying, yeah, we're helping you out, right?
Wow.
And that's how the government has these contracts with these people, right? And so it's the government that's creating a market that doesn't have mutual assistance, doesn't have mutual aid, doesn't have community power, right? And meanwhile, you're telling me that it's the big business people that are doing that. They're just using the system that has been put in place by the government, and that's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. What
do you think, Ryan?
I mean, I think over Christmas when I meet with my grandpa, who is who's a retired tax attorney, I think I might talk with him about what kind of red tape would stand in my way of starting a charity.
A lot, dude.
Yeah, because I've had this idea for a charity ever since I read The Boy Crisis by Dr. Jonathan Farrell, where I would find retired men and the sons of single mothers, and have the retired men teach them how to read, because I think the 2 most important skills you can learn in life are delaying gratification and reading. And delaying gratification is a skill that fathers, in particular,
reading's for nerds,
impart on their kids. And then every single bit of available data we have shows that learning how to read at an early age, the more time you spend and the more words you've been exposed to, the better your outcomes. And also in retired men, like 50% of them are in antidepressants. Like depression is rampant amongst retired people because they're just purposeless. And so this would help combat multiple things with presumably low overhead. Sure. And the biggest issue would be preventing abuse. And that would be something I'd love to do, but I also am I also like stability quite a bit, so that's kind of holding me back but I'll talk with my grandpa about like the red tape of starting something like that up.
A lot. I've looked into it because I've worked for some charities. There was a time in my life when I was a starving artist. I know it's hard to believe. Thought I was going to be a rock star, right? And so I was like, hell yeah, this is probably. I mean, this was before I even worked on Ron Paul's campaign in 2008, right? I went out and did petitioning. You know, the annoying people like, hey, will you sign the petitions for my cause? And I get paid for that stuff. Of course, there was no base pay. It was almost all commission based, right? But I went around and petitioned for like Oxfam, if you remember Oxfam.
What's that?
It was like a help the needy cause, and there's like different. It was like I worked for one place that had like 18 different charities that they petitioned for. Basically.
Okay.
And Oxfam just happened to be one of them. You had to wear the Oxfam shirt and go out and get signatures and get some money and shit like that, right? I even those little people that had like 40% overheads, I mean, they were getting regulated out of the market immediately. 1 year tops if they're lucky. And it's like I know people right now that would start charities and help out everybody they could. And it's so funny because I put Twitter CEO in the headline of this tonight. And so of course I wanted to talk a little bit about Musk and the poll but Musk did this. Musk said if some economist can come to me right now and tell me how much money it will cost to end world hunger, I'll send the money right now. He literally said that on Twitter. He literally said that. Everybody, all these fucking, excuse me, sorry, Tato. All these crazy people on Twitter, they're like, oh, he has all this money. He could have ended world hunger. He's like, I tried. I asked what it would cost. Somebody tell me where to send the money.
There's no dollar amount.
And I'll do it. And there is a dollar amount. That's the thing.
Wow.
There is a dollar amount. There is. And it's not that much. It's not that much, dude. It's really not that much.
I don't think there's a dollar amount because the vast majority of starvation that happens is essentially the result of either a tyrannical regime or some sort of warfare. So it's almost all intentional.
And Elon knew that, right? But there is a figure. It's like a $6 billion figure. It's nothing, dude. Yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, we send way more money than that to Israel every year. Okay. So here's the deal. He said directly, show me where to send the money. Tell me how much it's going to take, and I'll send it right now. And no one could give him an answer. Nobody, not one single government came to him. No. And you know why? Because in the grand scheme of things, they don't want to end world hunger. Governments don't want to end world hunger because if you end world hunger, right, when there's no more food dependency, right, on the government, oh boy, you think the people are going to start going, maybe we don't need this whole government thing. They want that. That's why they've created a welfare state in the United States, right? I mean, that's the whole that was the whole point of the welfare state, was to get people attracted to the system, get them dedicated to having to lean on their system, and then they can take as much money as they want. And it's always in the name of helping the needy, right?
And it worked.
And it worked.
It works.
It worked. Hundreds. There's been 100 million people or something like that on government assistance at any one time, right? And that's a lot of people, dude. And the government loves that. They try to say, oh, we want low unemployment. We want this and that and this and that. They don't give a shit about that. They don't care about that at all. They want you broke and destitute and leaning on the system so that the people who really have money, they can take all that money from. And then when they run out of that money, they hire 80,000 new IRS agents to start hassling middle-class dads, right? Like me, for no reason whatsoever, to get more money out of you. You owe us $15,000. For what? What?
They have to raise money.
They have to.
And they realize there's money laying out there that it's not accounted for, and they're like, we're going to hire agents to go find it.
Right.
I think they've really started to disenfranchise the wrong people. I think it could lead to serious consequences because if you like the Zoomer generation, what are the prospects for young men? They're not great. Like most of them are dropping out of college or not going, and even the ones that do go to college are saddled with debt and in a kind of dead end corporate job. There's just
and all their women are on OnlyFans.
Yeah, women are on OnlyFans. They essentially have a new species of woman because of cultural shifts and the prevalence of birth control and the feminist movement and all sorts of different compounding factors.
Don't forget Planned Parenthood. That's the important key that you missed there. The genocide factories that Margaret Sanger literally popped up all over the country, especially in poor and black neighborhoods.
But there's so many compounding factors working against young men now that why do you think they're latching onto Andrew Tate?
Andrew Tate's cool.
But he doesn't exactly give a great message, but
sure he does. Have you ever
His
listened
message,
to Andrew
have
Tate?
you ever
I've listened to
his
Andrew
messages?
Tate.
Yeah, his messages are not controversial at all.
I feel like this. I feel like this is the.
are.
I feel like this is the Breitbart illusion right now. Right?
A little bit.
Like Andrew Breitbart, if you've ever listened to Breitbart speak, I mean, he was fucking dead on, dude. The guy was amazing, right? But like, if you've never listened to Breitbart and you only go off of what people say about Breitbart, you'll think that he's this giant racist, like extremist, right-wing, crazy person. But in all actuality, he was like, "You're calling me racist? We're gonna go to war." Like, I'm not racist.
The war quote, right?
Yeah, he's the guy. He was in war, right? And he's like one of the most greatest talks I've ever seen. That's the same thing with Tate. Tate's got some questionable. He's got some questionable opinions on women. I will give you that.
Yeah, that's where.
But if you actually sit down and listen to the message that that Mr. Tate is passing around right now, it's very empowering, dude. For most people, not just men, women too. If you listen to the message of what he has to say, it's so potent, dude. Like, and it's like, be self-reliant. Do not rely on governments. They all lie. They're all shitty. I mean, he's really good at passing that. I would love to sit down and have a talk with the guy.
I think the age difference too is like, I was dealing with something completely different than what you're dealing with, and guys your age or single guys your age are dealing with. Let's acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Like, not only have they manipulated our currency and our government, they've manipulated the free market of
dating.
Trying to be politically correct,
that too.
Dating is absolutely screwed up because 80% of women are chasing after 20% of men.
They've manipulated the free market of vagina.
Yeah. He doesn't know anything about that. He's a one vagina man, and so am I.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thank God. Yeah, I think we're all one vagina men these days.
That might be the Andrew Tate disconnect there, maybe.
The main thing about it is he has a very nonchalant attitude to using people, especially women. And one of the things he said is like, if you're dating someone, or he doesn't even advocate for marriage. He says if you're dating someone, they're your property.
That's not necessarily what he said, though, dude.
But No,
you're taking it out of context.
What did he say?
He has pretty much directly said that, and that
I've never heard that though.
You should create OnlyFans and content around that, and get them to cam and whatnot and profit off of them, things like that, and that's not going to lead to healthy relationships. Some of the things about taking responsibility for yourself and becoming self-reliant and improving yourself.
I think you're watching. I think you're watching reels on Facebook of Tate and not the actual interviews.
The context of that wasn't the context that if in a traditional relationship the man, you like pay the bill at the date and stuff, like you're kind of a provider in a sense. And I think his context on that was, if women want an equality in that equation, why don't they want equality with that equation? Wasn't that the context for that?
No, you guys. I think
we're both wrong.
Next time we're gonna pop some interview clips up.
Let's do an Andrew Tate deep dive.
Although Andrew Tate is like banned big time on YouTube, from what I understand, but dude, he
still shows up all over.
You
shorts.
should definitely. You're literally like quoting reels of Andrew Tate and not his entire interviews. I beg you to sit down and watch an entire interview of Andrew Tate. Okay.
Andrew Tate built his entire brand off of reels. That's what his entire brand is built off of. That's how he grew so successful, because he paid people to make reels of him in shorts and TikToks and promote it from all these different angles.
He got famous because he was a world champion kickboxer, buddy. You know that, right?
But his way of promoting was very
one
unique.
of the greatest kickboxers in the world.
Yeah, I know he was.
He was
very
famous
successful
long before anybody on the internet was watching reels of him. Is what I'm saying.
But he became very prominent because of his marketing strategy.
He had already made all of his money and all that shit before marketing.
I would say he's made the majority of his money after it.
Hard disagree. He had a ton of money prior to that. That's not all,
I would
that's
say
not all,
he's
that's not all YouTube money, dude. I promise you.
No, but Hustlers University, he's probably made a ton of money off of that.
Sure.
And that's all part of the marketing that he's done, and it's over the last year and a half or 2 years, and he's been filling some of that male role model hopelessness void of young men.
He's basically like a very, very based and in your face Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. He's
with a
filling
weird
that
accent.
same void as Jordan Peterson did, and still does.
Yeah.
He's in that same market.
In my opinion, he's better in this moment. He's better at it than Jordan Peterson is.
I would disagree with that.
Yeah, that's because you're a Jordan Peterson stan and you can't deal with the fact that he's completely fallen off.
I
Entirely.
think there are things. His core tenets are still very good. I've always disagreed with him a lot, especially on the formation of government and
The guy
different things
literally
like that.
is advocating to block anonymous accounts on Twitter right now, dude. He's not our guy. He's not our guy anymore. He's lost the plot entirely. It's very sad. I hate it because I think his books are amazing. I've had my daughter read his books. I want my sons to read his books. I think he's very, very intelligent. He's made some really great points, but that is not the same Jordan Peterson that we had 2 years ago prior to COVID. He also pushed the vaccine for a while. I mean, he's lost the plot, dude. You don't have to agree with me, but he's lost the plot.
Yeah, he's certainly lost the plot on some things. I get where the blocking of the account, like the anonymous account things, comes from for him. One part of it is there was a study that showed a correlation between narcissism and being anonymous online. And then I think a lot of the abuse he receives, especially from the far left, is from anonymous accounts. And those are the people that are extremely vitriolic towards him. And a lot of the people, like I know Dickie Walnuts has gone hard on him, and he's kind of anonymous on Twitter.
Yeah, but who gives a shit? Like, do you know how important anonymity is to like free people? Like, it's important, especially in the digital age. Okay, look, in the day, in an age where you can get fired for saying things that aren't even that extreme from your job, you can get your livelihood taken away because there's vitriolic, fucking shitty people out there that would go that far to harm your family because they don't agree with your politics. Anonymity is important. Now I've taken myself completely out of the anonymity pool, right? Even on my anonymous Twitter, everyone knows who I am. Okay,
right.
I mean, I have videos of myself. There's pictures of my family on there. Like, everybody knows, even though I'm anonymous. But I have friends that I know personally that are anonymous online because they're afraid of losing their job, because they have a job that will fire them if they say, "Hey, I think that marriage is between a man and a woman." Or, "Hey, I think that there's only two genders." Or, "Hey, I don't want to take Ukraine's side in the war because I think it's there's Nazis involved." Or "I don't think we should be sending money to Israel." Or any of these things that are not extreme positions.
Right.
Okay. And I'll proudly say these things. But I also have a position and a job where I can say things that I want freely, and nobody really gives a shit, right? But like, it is so important to be able to be anonymous in today's age, right? In the information age, where people can literally get you fired from your job, can get your house taken away, can get your kids taken away. It's important, dude. It's an important thing. Shout out to Brady Burleson. Thanks for the $5 super chat. He says hello. Hold on. I wanted to, my good friend Outlaw Thoughts, Leighton, the homie, he says he's been a member for 15 months, dude. Thank you, Leighton. I appreciate that. He says it was -15 here a few days ago. I'm all for warming more of Alaska to use. Also, not drinking until 21 is a very Ian thing to do. And for you guys that don't know, my buddy Leighton lives in Alaska. So when I'm bitching about it being cold.
What's up, Leighton? Big fan of your show. And also, we're going to be flexing on you here pretty soon. I think Thursday or Friday, it's going to be like -10.
No,
so we'll be touching
Thursday, it's -11.
Okay.
And that's minus the wind chill. So with the wind chill, we're probably going to easily hit -20.
Okay, so we'll get a taste of Alaska.
And we do. We get a couple days like that every year.
Yeah.
For sure.
The winter of 2013, that was the average.
Yeah.
And that was my first year of college, and I had a 10-minute walk class at 8 a.m. every morning. I had to walk an hour outside every day in those temperatures.
Your mustache freezes, dude. It's brutal. Like, literally, I feel the hairs in my nose. I feel the hairs in my nose freeze when I walk up on my roof at work. Like, as soon as I go outside, I start feeling them freeze. I'm like, oh my goodness, dude. I don't know how people do this. But that's the thing. Leighton's talking about moving somewhere in the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, maybe I'll come check out Iowa. I was like, dude, you'd be able to handle the cold because it's not as cold for where you're from. And it's still awesome. And it's cheaper than Alaska. A lot cheaper.
Yeah.
A lot cheaper.
He'd probably like it here.
Yeah, he probably would enjoy it here, even with the cold. Anyways, let's take a quick moment to have a word from our sponsors, if that's okay with you guys. Everybody's like, no, it's not. What the hell?
Do it.
The tree of liberty must be watered from time to time with the blood of tyrants. The official spirit of 1776, smooth, flavorful Merlot. For any revolution, tyrants are losing their heads over this wine. Enjoy the taste of freedom. Drink the blood of tyrants.
Order today at bloodoftyrants.wine. Save 10% with the code BREAK.
All right, guys, go check out bloodoftyrants.wine. It's delicious Merlot. It's really a conversation starter to the bottle, and you get a discount for the more bottles you order. And of course, if you use Break, you get a 10% discount on top of that. It's really good wine. Seriously, guys, go buy some. Go buy some. It'll ship anywhere in the United States, even Alaska, Leighton. So buy a bottle with my link. I need you guys to start buying some wine. My friend Dan needs to sell some wine. Seriously, it's good. It's worth it. Okay, we're 30 minutes into this thing. We've talked about cold weather almost the whole show. We've talked about how JP has fallen off. We've talked about Andrew Tate.
It's not true.
It's not true. I tell you, it's not. It's not.
It's simply not.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good, buddy. No, I need to talk about JFK today. I need to. I'm so flabbergasted that we now have proof that the CIA and from what it sounds like to me, it sounds like the mob was involved. Like the CIA used the mob to kill JFK.
Why? How is this news to anybody?
It's not. It shouldn't be.
Okay, so what's the difference between the CIA and the mob?
One does it legally. Through some arbitrary.
One is discreet.
Yeah, one's
the
actually
other's a government agency.
Yeah.
I brought that up to my wife the other day, and she hadn't ever thought about it. She started thinking about it. She was like, "Oh my God, there's no difference."
Yeah, it's a legal mob, dude. They can take you out. They can take a president out, apparently.
Yeah, they took out a sitting president. And let's be honest, and I've been saying this for a long time, okay? It was very clear that when the president of the United States, John F. Kennedy Jr., said no to creating false flags in the United States to go to war with Cuba, that the CIA was pushing for, that they were like, okay, that's it, you're gone, right? You wouldn't go along with the ABC outlets, right? These bureaucratic ABC agencies, right? With their false flags. Now, the false flag thing was proven a long time ago, right? Operation Northwoods was put out decades ago. That information came out. It's somewhat redacted, but mostly all the information you need to see that says clearly that the CIA planned to create false flag attacks on America so that they could get support for a war with Cuba is a real thing. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's fact.
It's not the first time they've done it. It's not the last time they've done it.
It's fact, though. That's the thing. It's like he's like, if you say things like this to people, they're like, "Oh, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist." No, this isn't a theory anymore.
Right?
There's no theory. Theory is something that's yet to be proven. Okay, it is a fact that Operation Northwoods was a real thing being pushed by the CIA that would have created false flag attacks on the United States to get support for war with Cuba. Okay, our CIA, at least since the 60s, let's be honest, since the inception of the CIA, has been a crooked organization that is willing to attack its own people to gain support for wars abroad. I want that to sink in with people. I want people to understand what that means, okay? Because this is not a one-off situation. This is not a one-off situation, okay? You've heard of all these different operations that have been declassified. It's not a one-off situation.
They changed from the OSS in like World War II, correct?
Huh?
I need to brush up my CIA history a little bit here,
but I mean, okay. So here's another thing.
The OSS was before the CIA, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so here's the thing. You know about the coup in Iran, okay, in the 50s. Okay, the United States CIA and Britain's MI6 came together and created a freaking coup in Iran to have Mohammad Mossadegh removed. Mohammad Mossadegh was the first duly elected prime minister, democratically elected prime minister of Iran. Okay, they were getting away from the Shah and actually electing somebody. And for all intents and purposes, Iran looked like the West. Yeah. They had Chevy Bel Airs driving down the street, skirts. Men were wearing business suits and nice, whatever those weird hats are that all the libertarians like, and trilby hats. No, that's libertarians wear trilbies and call them fedoras, but that's not a fedora. Fedora is what they were wearing in the 50s, right? Yeah. And we know that the government was like, oh shit, they democratically elected a prime minister. They no longer want to do business with us on oil anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in there and create chaos and get their own people to remove him. And then we're going to capture his family. And I mean, they've been doing this for over a half a century. They've been doing this kind of shit. So now, okay, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years later, now you have proof that they've taken out a literal sitting president of the United States. Okay. There's de facto evidence of this now. Declassified documents. How do you combat that as a absolute fucking sheep in the United States? You can no longer combat that. It's proven. I've seen people already asking, "Oh, where's the info?" It's literally in government documents, dude. It's literally released. Okay.
So I saw a great take on Twitter today. I think it might have been somebody that's fairly libertarian. Basically said that it's a KGB psyop, that the CIA killed JFK.
I can't with these people, dude. Like, how much of history does this need to go on before somebody goes, "Hey, you know what? These people don't have our best interests in heart."
But now you know that the system where they redact information, they seal it up for a certain amount of years until everybody involved is dead.
70 years. Yeah.
Well, now you know why that system works, because everybody involved with it that can have their head chopped is gone or old enough to not care. And now you have young people that walk up to them on the street and ask them about Vietnam. Ask them what year it was. Ask them what countries were involved.
Oh, they couldn't even tell you what decade it was.
What countries were involved in the Vietnam War.
They can't even tell you what decade it was.
No.
And it wasn't even that long ago.
No.
I'm going to be honest. I couldn't tell you what decade the Vietnam War took place in.
Yeah. My dad was in the Navy during Vietnam, dude. My dad.
Vietnam happened in the 70s, bud.
Yeah, that would have been my guess, but
yeah.
Like late 60s, early 70s. Yeah.
But that was never talked about.
Yeah, you know why?
Because we lost.
Because we lost. Yeah. The same as Afghanistan is never going to be talked about again. We spent 21 years in Afghanistan, dude. I turned 18 the same year that we went into Afghanistan. Okay, and I'm almost 40 and we just left. Yeah. Okay, under this president. And I will say, as sloppy as it was, thanks, Joe. Thanks for finally pulling us out of that ever-long, never-ending.
That's one way to end it.
Yeah, it was a terrible way to do it, but it needed to be ended, and it needed to be ended abruptly, and it was just 20 years too late, right? In my opinion, we should have never went.
Yep.
They knew we weren't going to win. That's another thing. Read the Afghanistan papers. Those are unredacted and released to the public, declassified. Our government clearly lied us into the Afghanistan war, and that's proven. That's a proven thing. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact. Again, conspiracy theories are things that are yet to have fact-based evidence, okay? There's facts. If you read the Afghanistan papers, that our government knew we couldn't win the war, knew it would last forever, and still lied to the American public to get support for that war.
Yes.
How many times do they have to do this before you go,
how many people are listening to you right now that think Ukraine's going to win a war against Russia?
Dude, it blows my mind. Listen. I don't back either one.
All they need is some more money. All they need is more stingers.
I don't back either one of these countries in this war. I want to make that clear, especially because YouTube, if you show any support for Russia, YouTube will take you off.
Okay,
but listen, hold on. I'm in the middle of saying something, Ryan.
I have been waiting
okay,
patiently.
You can wait a little
I thought you had paused.
Listen, if you're dumb enough to think that the little tiny country of Ukraine can beat Russia in a
I'm
war.
telling you,
It blows my mind to think that you could be that dumb. And the funny thing is like there's people all over Twitter that believe that. Oh yeah, Ukraine's kicking Russia's ass, and Russia's like, what? Where? It's not happening.
Yeah.
And in fact, if they were to start winning the war, it would only be because of NATO. And even then, NATO would have a problem traversing Russia. We've seen this in past wars, World War II and the likes. The USSR and Russia, it's very, very bad terrain. It's very hard to traverse.
It's remote.
It's very cold. It's very remote. And we're talking colder than Alaska. We're talking very, very, very cold. That's one of the reasons why
freezing Nazi cold.
It's one of the reasons why Nazi Germany didn't want to go and attack Russia, right? Because they knew they couldn't win a war there. Okay, and it's the same now. And that's why everybody on my side of this divide, where I'm like, I don't want war, is saying we don't want war because we know that to win a war against Russia, it's got to be nuclear. Yep. Okay, and none of us want nuclear war. None of us that are intelligent enough to pay attention are stupid enough to want a nuclear war. Okay, and that's the only way that NATO and Ukraine beats Russia.
And in Ukraine, it's getting cold just like here. The winter's coming in, right? And the ground's freezing. The ground's getting firm enough for tanks to roll on it.
Right.
So just wait.
Yeah, the whole thing is just it's stupid. Like I think I'm anti-war all around. I think war is stupid. It's always been stupid. It's just humans killing humans. And for the most part, the people that are dying have no dispute with each other. You know what I mean? Like, I had no problem with the Afghan people. I had no problem with the people of Iraq. I have no problem with the people of Russia. I have no problem with the people of Ukraine. Like, those wars are being fought by people that don't go to war.
No.
Okay.
If it was used strictly for self-defense, there wouldn't be many wars.
Right. But it's not. It's always some conquest. It's always some political theater. It's always some kind of bullshit like that. And I'm just done. I'm done with the wars. But to actually see that there's people out there in this country that think that Ukraine is going to beat Russia in a war is asinine. Absolutely asinine.
And that's the propaganda. And then you hear Putin release a statement and they go, oh, he's lying. He's obviously lying to us. He's just like, you haven't even tasted the beginning of my like we're sending you all of our shit right now just to, like, seriously. And they'll be like, he's lying. That's propaganda. I'm like, no, you're listening to propaganda from us.
With the Russia-Ukraine stuff, strange. I would be surprised if the truth is out.
Oh, there's no truth in anything that we do, dude. Yeah. This is what we just started talking about on this whole segment. Is there is no truth from our government. There is no truth from the alphabet agencies, right? Like they've been lying to us, proven lying to us for a century.
So the thing that I so rudely interrupted you about.
Yes, exactly.
So I saw a tweet that perfectly encapsulated it. It's by Crip Daddy, who is.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, love Crip Daddy. Said Elon Musk spent $44 billion
Rest in peace, Crip Daddy.
To tell everyone the government is lying and corrupt as if that's new info.
One more time. Start it over.
Okay. Elon Musk spent $44 billion to tell everyone the government is lying and corrupt as if that's new info. But yeah, now people can't deny it. Yes, they can. Denying facts because they don't align with certain beliefs is as American as morbid obesity and Hollywood child abuse.
It's true.
There you go.
Two things that are undeniable in the United States: Hollywood child abuse and obesity. Still, people act like it's not a problem. Doesn't make any sense. Hold on one second. Let's see. Level Zero, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. He said, you just need to host the Tate versus Peterson debate. Let's solve this. Yes, I would be more than happy to. I would be the guy for that debate, too. I would be the perfect moderator for that because there's things on both sides of that debate that I agree with heavily, dude. But there's things on both sides of that debate, too, that I would be like, hey, hold on. Wait a minute, bro. Hold on. You gotta clarify there. You know what I mean? And I'm not afraid to push those issues either.
That'd be an amazing debate, though.
I think Peterson would absolutely destroy Tate.
I don't think
in
he would.
Debate.
I really don't.
I don't think it would be.
I think you're underestimating Tate because all you know about Tate is reels. Go listen to a fucking interview, dude. He's really intelligent. He's brilliant, dude. Brilliant. And that's probably with the CTE from being kicked in the head. Imagine if he had never taken the CTE, dude. You know what I mean? He's very brilliant.
I'll make an effort. I know he did an interview with Piers Morgan.
I don't know about the Piers Morgan interview. Somebody also dropped an interview that I haven't heard with him in the chat that they said is really good. But he's you're not giving him the credit he deserves here on my show right now. And I'm gonna tell him. And he's a professional kickboxer, dude. So
okay. Oh no, he'll go out of his way to find some random dude in
He's gonna fly
Iowa
his
with
private jet all the way here to cold ass snowy Iowa.
some
just
dude
to finally
with
punch you in the mouth.
190 followers on Twitter.
Is he still at 190 followers? That's it. Bro, you guys are not following my home dog game.
A bunch of people here are following.
We gotta follow. You guys gotta follow the co-hosts of the show because they need some love, man. I love these guys. I still do not have my original Twitter account back.
Yeah,
and I have put in an appeal every day, every single day. I have violated no laws. I violated no terms of service, and I tell them that every time I send an appeal every day. And every day I get back an email that says your account will not be unbanned. Every single day.
I can't believe it. You're in the 5%?
Oh, no doubt.
Yep.
No doubt.
You're in the 5% that'll never be reinstated.
For what?
Yeah,
hate speech.
I didn't have any hate speech.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't get it because I've seen so many other accounts unbanned. So an account that I followed in like 2018 or maybe even longer, but I saw a tweet from them for like the first time in 4 years. I was like, I didn't even realize they disappeared. What in the world? Wild. It's an account called Meninist, where it's
what
like
is that about?
the male version of feminist, and it's essentially just it's
they're called MRAs, buddy, men's right activists.
It was peak YouTube dunking on feminism.
Good. Feminism is
okay.
Yeah, and that's what the account is. It's just dunking on feminism.
I made this post on Twitter the other day. I said, do you remember the second wave feminists who were anti-pornography? What happened to them?
There's been 3 waves.
4. We're in the fourth. We're in the fourth.
This
wave.
is the 4th
We're in
wave.
the 4th wave of feminism.
I can't keep up with the waves.
Yeah, neither can I, dude.
Come on,
And
ladies.
hey, and you know,
pick a wave.
That's
Just
women
pick a
for
wave
you,
and
dude.
go with
They
it.
constantly change their mind. You know what I mean? That's how it works, dude. You never know what you're going to get the next.
Microcosm.
I'm surprised we're not in like the 160th wave in the last 70 years or 80 years or whatever. No, but yeah, second wave feminism was anti-sex work.
Yeah.
Anti-sex work. They said it was exploitation of women, and it was terrible. And they were also not like pro corporate like jobs and shit like that. They weren't like, oh yeah, every woman needs to go get a job at Starbucks, right? They were like, oh yeah, women are empowered and should and you know they take care of children, and so they should be treated equal in the house, and which is all true.
What a radical idea.
Yeah, what woman would get a job at Starbucks?
Oh yeah, well, she's watching upstairs.
Yeah,
no, but seriously, like that's how the second wave of feminism was. It was like they wanted equal rights.
Yeah.
But they also weren't pushing to be like, oh, equal rights means women have to leave the home and go and work 10 hours a day away from their children. Like they just want to be treated equal in the home. They want to have the right to vote, which, you know, I don't think anyone should have the right to vote, including women. And I know it's very
No, they should have the right to vote, but never want to do it because they're like, oh, everything's pretty hunky dory. I don't really feel like voting.
But that's
cool.
The second wave of feminism was kind of based, dude. If you actually look up like the difference between what it was then and what it is now, like it's like it was pretty based. Like it was a bunch of based women that were like, nah, dude, like we're not gonna be treated like dogs. And okay, that's cool. Don't be treated like dogs, but they're also like, oh yeah, we're not gonna be exploited by taking off our clothes for money and all this. You know what I mean? Like all this shit. Like it's kind of based.
Hold it.
Oh, whoa! Wait a minute. What do you mean?
I thought we weren't swearing.
Oh, I can't. I'm trying. I'm sure Tato's asleep by now. It's 8:30. He's probably. I hope he's in bed by now.
Ding ding, green light.
Yeah. So Elon is going to step down as the CEO of Twitter. Did you hear about this?
I'm not excited about it.
Did you hear about this?
No,
He put out a
I
poll.
heard about the poll,
Yeah.
and then I got concerned with other things. But
Yeah. So he put out a poll.
the poll was to
that's-
take him down, right?
Yeah, and it got almost 18 million votes, and it was like 65% yes. You should step down as CEO of Twitter.
Interesting.
And he said, I'll abide by whatever results
Okay.
show up. But here's the thing. and I already knew this. And I'm sure a lot of people that voted in the poll didn't. He'd been looking for a CEO of Twitter long prior.
Yeah.
Long prior.
It's an illusion that was left up to Twitter.
Yeah. He was already looking for a CEO. He doesn't want to be the CEO. He wants to be the owner. He doesn't want to be the CEO.
I get that.
You know what I mean? And he made a post after that poll was up that said, "Careful what you wish for."
So who's it going to be?
Who's it going to be? Right. We could speculate all day, but I think it's going to be somebody fucking crazy, like way out, like outside of what we can even
the
probably
weirdest loophole ever. Trump comes back to be the CEO of Twitter. Frankly. And then reinstitutes his own account.
His account's already up.
His account's back.
Yeah. Sorry, that already happened. So he'd have to have a different account that's the CEO. What would his handle be?
At Trump CEO.
At Trump CEO, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious, dude. That would be the funniest thing. That would probably be the most triggering thing I could ever imagine for left. And it's really, for all the triggering posturing that got thrown around in 2016, like, oh, you're triggered. It really is easy, very easy to trigger the left. And I was
boring now.
I was thinking about this today, right? Like, it's so easy to trigger the left that all you have to do is have a happy family.
Yeah.
It's that simple, dude. It's that simple. I saw a meme today.
Just be not bothered by stuff.
Far?
Huh?
It's just be not bothered by stuff.
Yeah, or just have a happy family, dude. That's
just
all it takes.
Be happy. I think that's all you have to do.
I saw a really good thing today on Twitter. So first it was a meme. It wasn't a meme. It was a picture of a woman with her 4 kids in like a height line. And they were white kids with blonde hair and blue eyes and whatever. And then there was like all these leftist tweets under it, right? There was like, this is literally white supremacy and this and that and this and that, right? And a guy under that post, which by the way, first of all, is bullshit. Like, come on, dude. Like, what, we're not allowed to procreate?
Yeah.
Sounds a little Nazi-ish, a little genocidal, a little racist.
You're not.
Oh, no, world population. Right,
yeah,
right. World population.
Yeah, overpopulation and that's producing more carbon in the atmosphere, and you're going to kill all the seals.
Okay, listen.
You're actually not contributing by having kids.
So
we're actually killing people.
So under it, somebody said something that was actually very profound to me, and I'll carry it with me forever. It was also hilarious, but it's also true. He says, you notice how it doesn't make any sense, the term white supremacy there? It doesn't make any sense, right? Anytime you see the term white supremacy and in your logical, normal thinking brain think that doesn't sound right there, replace it with white existence.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? And it'll make a lot more sense to you.
Yeah.
And it's literally, he was like, I started reading some of these tweets and replacing white supremacy with white existence. And it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
This is literally white existence. It's not about white supremacy for these people. They just want white people gone, right? Like, and it's true. It's true.
Yeah,
it's very true.
Fleckus had a clip with a girl. It was This Week in Culture he has on Rumble. He releases it every week, and it's a compilation of libs of TikTok type stuff, right? And just weird clips. And it was a TikTok, I believe, and she was basically saying, white people, you need to be better, decenter yourself. This isn't about you. It's about society becoming better, not you becoming better. And it was interspaced with clips of maybe non-white people behaving badly. But it was crazy. It was and there's this weird sadomasochistic thing going on with whites in general in America that I can't really figure out. It's like when they get to a certain level of success, they kill themselves off.
Yeah.
They unalive themselves. They become anti-white. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, it is bizarre.
And I don't see other races doing that. I see, Black Power, La Raza for Mexicans.
Oh, you're allowed to have pride. You're allowed to have pride.
You're allowed to be
anything.
proud.
Yeah, you can be proud of
any other race. And it seems like they're totally into it, and it's not a problem at all. But if you say white power, or I'm proud to be white, or I think the white race has done really good things,
You're
they're
the
just like,
culture.
get the fuck out of here.
Well, this is you got to understand too that like a lot of this has to do with the Frankfurt School, right, and cultural Marxism in general. It's not even really about race at this point, right?
It's
that's
like an elitist thing.
It's so cultural Marxism is another term that is constantly thrown around as a conspiracy theory, despite the fact that we have evidence after evidence after evidence, and there's been secret communist meetings all over the world of communist organizations saying, hey, we need to subvert the culture.
Yeah.
Okay, and we need to make people pit people against each other and ruin the normal family and happy families, and have race wars and do this to get to have this cultural revolution, right? So like, how is that a conspiracy theory if the communists have literally been saying it for 100, 200 years or whatever, right?
No, I
Pablo
think
Freire
that's
wrote a book about it.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of books about
Yeah.
it. And
no, James Lindsay. If anybody
you-
thinks that's a conspiracy theory, go look up James Lindsay.
but a
and
lot
listen
of
to any
times,
his talks.
and it's funny because part of like the cultural communist playbook is to call everything racist, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
to stifle conversation and shut down conversation. And it's funny because now if you even bring up the term cultural Marxism, you'll immediately be shouted down as a racist. And it's like you're literally proving the point.
Yeah.
You're literally proving the point that I'm making right now by shouting me down as a racist for saying a term, cultural Marxism, that has absolutely nothing to do with race whatsoever. It's literally a subversion of the culture to bring about a communist revolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how we're going to get that out of the educational system, especially higher education.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happens. Like it's
Well,
in deep.
first of all, we need to abolish. So the biggest step is to abolish the federal government's involvement in education.
Absolutely.
There was
I would
never a
agree with
reason
that.
for the federal government to be involved in education whatsoever to begin with.
Yeah.
It never should have been. There is nothing in the Constitution that allows for them to be involved in state education.
And then
Zero.
it's done nothing but
Zero.
harm it.
Yeah, if you look at test scores in America,
Mm-hmm.
since the institution of the Department of Education, the Federal Department of Education, test scores have either stayed the same or dropped,
Yeah.
while spending has
Has increased.
skyrocketed. Okay, it's just another money laundering scheme. for the
Hallmark
federal
of government
That's it.
control.
That's it.
Hallmark of government regulation.
That's it.
Everything gets more expensive.
Yeah. And meanwhile, they're like, oh, well, now we have control of schools countrywide. We can push whatever we want, right?
Yeah.
We can push whatever we want. And so it's funny because they have these leftists upset about schools participating in the Pledge of Allegiance, right?
To be fair,
hold on. But meanwhile, they're literally pushing for the school system to indoctrinate children with cultural
Yes.
Marxism. But they're not. But they shouldn't be allowed to do the Pledge of Allegiance, which is also part of the playbook too. There should be there can be no like national identity in a cultural communist revolution, right? There can be no national identity, because if you have a national identity, then you have a North Star to aim for in your society to like this.
Yeah,
is how
and
I
something
wanna
to
be.
unify your people.
Right.
Something to unify your populace with.
the Pledge of Allegiance was written by a devout socialist.
Socialist, exactly.
Which does not surprise
Yes,
me.
when
at
they
all.
fight against it, it just shows their ignorance.
Yeah,
should be
and we
fine
know
for
that
it.
these people are not
They-
very bright. You know what I mean? And that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons why they have to get
Not
involved in-
ignorance. They have a new flag.
Oh yeah, it's the gender
Pride
flag.
flag.
Come again?
No, it's not the pride flag anymore. It's the gender flag now, dude.
Well, did you see the latest iteration of the pride
Yes,
flag?
with the thing in the center, whatever the hell that is.
to include sex work. Did
Wait,
you see
what?
Shoe
Yeah.
on Head's version of it?
No, I love Shu though. She's hilarious.
She put that-
You know the flag that has like all the different flags stitched into one kind of, and it's like got the trans flag and the pride flag and all the all these the non-binary flag, and then they added a new part of that flag now that is to include sex workers.
What? What? Is it just the OnlyFans logo?
No, but it should be. That would be hilarious. Have you found it?
I
You can show the camera if you find it. You should be able to. We're all just gonna watch. We're all just gonna watch Ryan scroll his phone now.
Wait,
I mean,
that's
yeah, the
13
libertarian in me
DMs.
says this is why we don't have nice things.
Well, and here's the thing: like, we've had this discussion in the Libertarian Party repeatedly, right? Like, and people got so fucking mad at me on like the liberal side of the Libertarians, right? They got so
Yeah.
mad at me because I was
There's a new caucus we can talk about.
Oh,
because I said very clearly.
the tweet was deleted, but I can Shoe on Head's reply is still there.
You got to put it at the camera, buddy. I don't know what you're.
What is it?
You got to put it at the camera, buddy.
Right on it.
Is it grabbing the butthole? Is that what it is?
But
I don't know what goatee is.
oh, you
Is that an anime thing?
No, you sweet summer child.
This guy who doesn't even know when the Vietnam War happened is calling me a sweet summer child.
Oh,
this guy
call me
hey,
innocent, and you don't know what goatsy is.
This guy's about a world war. I know the
Hold
meme,
on.
dude.
This guy who I told, hey, there's a new rap album out today that's fire, right? Fire. It's called Mount Westmore, right? It's Ice Cube, Eazy-E, or no, not sorry, Ice Cube, E40, Too Short, and Snoop Dogg came together and made a super rap group called Mount Westmore and put out a new album today. Okay. I had him listen to it before the show, and he's like, oh, that's trash. Okay. This guy is calling me a sweet summer child.
Yeah.
This guy who didn't have a beard till he was 21 years old, like 5 years ago, is calling me a sweet summer child. Come on, buddy. Come on. I'm gonna pan to you so everyone can see your confused look.
Well, first of all, I had a beard at 19, but
I thought you were gonna say Eazy-E to see if he would catch it. Which he
That
did.
E40.
I should have just stayed with Eazy-E.
I know E40, but I was
Do you know
playing
who
him.
Eazy-E is?
You know who Eazy-E is?
I've
Have you heard
of
Eazy-E's?
Eazy-E.
Have you heard his new album?
Okay.
No.
You haven't heard his
Do you
new
know how
album?
old he
That's
is?
probably because he died of AIDS in the 90s, dude.
Okay.
And he was
Yeah.
part of NWA. Come
Oh,
on,
yeah.
dude. He literally started.
It was
he
kind of a
Well,
big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after he showed me that, I showed him
his favorite
some
rap
Drew
artist was
Famous
XXX Tentacion, by the
who
way.
is Drew Famous is watching the show right now. So
Who?
shout out Drew Famous.
Is that the rapper that you were talking about?
Yeah.
I'd love to listen to. I think I listened. I think you let me listen to some of his stuff.
Yeah, I
liked
played
it.
you about a minute of one of his
Yeah,
songs.
I think it was pretty good. It wasn't like I'm not a big fan of XXX Tentacion though.
Yeah,
Because he's not
a
a rapper. He's a singer. He's a singer.
He's both. He's an artist, but he's an outlier.
I don't know. Ask our
But
viewers.
some of the other stuff I showed you, like Tony Tillman and Andy Mineo, you revived
Somebody
with
just
more.
said Tech9 is the rap goat in the chat, and I have to disagree. I'm sorry. Tech9 is really good though.
I enjoy Tech9.
Yeah, I actually
not
really
the goat.
I actually really like Tech9, but to call him the rap goat is I venture to say that Nas is definitely the rap goat for me. I think that anybody who says that Nas is not the greatest living rapper of all time is wrong. But that's just me, and that's coming from a West Coast.
I'll enter the chat.
Yeah, and that's a holler in the chat. Who's your favorite rap artist? That's what I like to ask the left, like the white liberal left, when they're like getting on me for racism. I just immediately like, who's your favorite rapper? And they can never answer.
Marshall Mathers.
No,
But I'm
they can't.
biased.
They can't
I'm
come up with
biased.
anything. They can't come up with anything. They never can. And it's like you don't know anything about black culture. You're literally here to play savior complex. That's it. That's all you care about. You can't even come up with one rapper. One rapper.
I've got a game for us next show. It's Black Card Revoked. You ever played it? Yeah, we're gonna play Black Card Revoked next time we're here.
Okay. I'll
Great.
win. I'll probably win.
Yeah, we
You
got
might.
Drew.
I'll
We got
probably
Drew
win.
Famous
You
in the
might.
chat saying y'all got my permission to play some real music.
Nice. I'll check it. I did listen to a little bit of his music and I liked it. I think I did.
800 Dash is one of my favorite albums.
Was he the one that was kind of like that other emo rapper that I like a little bit? The one who passed away from a seizure or whatever, drug seizure.
No,
What was his name? Who am I talking about?
You're thinking of Juice WRLD.
Yeah, I like some Juice WRLD stuff.
No, Drew is, at least what I showed you. He's more intense.
Okay,
than
but
that.
you still need to like, you really need to pay tribute to some real hip hop though, dude.
I listened to the new Nas album and
And
I
it was
liked
fire. It was one of the best albums that come out in a long time.
I
Long time.
enjoyed it.
Okay, good. I hope you. And that's saying a lot for me because I'm from Oakland, California, right? I grew up on the West Coast, like gangster rap, right?
West Coast rap.
Like growing up, my favorite rappers were like Sibo and of course Tupac. You can't be from where I'm from and not enjoy Tupac.
Did
But,
you
like,
ever listen to Wu-Tang or anything from
Of course,
East Coast?
and I
Okay.
like the East Coast rap too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I loved East Coast rap growing up as well. You know, of course I love Biggie and Junior Mafia and all that shit too. But as far as that stuff goes, like Nas is the king. Nas is the king, in my opinion, especially on the East Coast, but maybe nationally, Nas is the king, in my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong.
There's some good like E True Hollywood stories of Nas in NYC getting up to shenanigans.
Yeah.
I can't remember one right now.
Just from now on, anytime the left is calling you a racist, ask them who their favorite rapper is. I learned that from a really funny online account on Twitter, and it works every time, dude.
Most of them will say Billie Eilish.
No, most of them won't. They can't come up with anything, or they always say NWA.
Yeah, or
Which is
stumble, just stumble over the.
It's like, oh yeah,
what?
you mean the rap group they literally just made a movie about 2 years ago? Yeah, I imagine why you would say NWA, but my, you know what I mean? It's true. Like most of these white liberal like losers, they're like, oh yeah, I'm here to save the black people, and it's like, okay, who's your favorite rapper? They can't name one.
And if they answer you, ask them what's your favorite.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
What's
track?
your favorite rap? What's your favorite track?
What's your favorite track?
What's your favorite track from that rapper?
Yeah.
And if they don't answer you within 5 seconds,
Oh, you know they're scrolling on their phone.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let me look it up. Let me Google it real quick. That's a good. I'm gonna try that.
Level Zero, sorry I didn't get to your member chat. Level's been a member for 14 months. Man, you guys really been around for a long time, dude. I appreciate you. He said, Zelensky reminds me of 80s televangelist Jimmy Swaggart. We can do it. All we need is more of your money.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Sean Penn. Who's had photo ops with them?
definitely
Sean Penn.
for sure. I'm sure there's been more.
Isn't Sean Penn an actor, like the ginger actor that was in all the Edgar
Sean
Wright
Penn is an
movies?
Is this guy for real? Dude, is this guy for real? Is this guy for real?
I'm bad with names.
Is he for real?
Yes.
I'm bad
Sean
with
Penn is
names.
an actor.
Sean Penn stars in my favorite movie,
Which movie?
Wasn't Steven Seagal
Fuzz.
with them?
What's that?
Hot Fuzz.
You said Sean Penn stars in your
Sean
favorite
Penn is in
movie,
Hot Fuzz? No.
Yeah.
No.
You
Simon,
said he
Simon
was
Pegg.
Simon Pegg. Okay.
Yeah, Sean Penn is has been an actor. In fact, I think the first movie I ever watched with Sean Penn was when I was like maybe 3 or 4 years old, and I can remember it was called Bad Boys, and he went to like the Juvenile Youth Authority, and he was a kid actor. He was also in Fast Time at Ridgemont High. He was Spicoli. He's the dude
classic
ordered
character.
pizza in the classroom. I mean, how do you not know who Sean Penn is, dude? He's been around. He's been around forever.
Hey, you don't know who Sean Penn
My
is?
God,
Weird.
man.
Okay.
God, look at him. Look at him furiously Googling. Furiously
So
Googling.
Sean Penn, and then didn't Steven Seagal at the picture with Zelensky? And I swear to God, I think he did.
Yeah, I think Seagal did too. Yeah.
Seagal. Who else?
Mr. Madonna.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway,
somebody said something in the chat that I want. Oh yeah, somebody said Hobson. I actually do really like Hobson. a lot.
Hobson's good.
Hobson is very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that style of rap, I
Or
really
didn't he do?
enjoy, too. I wish
I'm
more.
kicking through the door or something like that. Kicking down the door.
I don't know. He's done so many good. Dude, he's done all the Illmind Hobson like albums are amazing. I mean, he's just a fucking phenomenal rapper, dude. And he's one of those guys that still like passes a message around. And I think he just did a song with NF, who I really like. And it was a really good song. Like a really good song. I like NF too. And my kids like hip hop and stuff too, but I don't really want to get them like into the like that culture because they're all just kind of getting out of that kind of culture, And so NF is a really good one for me because he's a Christian rapper who's mainstream and doesn't cuss or any of that stuff, and he's really, really, really good at it. They he's like basically like the clean version of Eminem. Really, truly, and so I like having them listen to him, and I listen to some of the like the new age like white emo kind of rappers. Like I like Whit Lowry a lot. I think he's really good. But man, I grew up on that old school like West Coast hardcore gangster shit.
I
you know. What I mean? So,
If it doesn't make you angry, then I'm just like, what is this about? What's this track about?
yeah, I don't know, guys. Check before we go too far. Too much farther in this. I want you guys to go check out Peace Hot Coffee if you can do that for me. I would really appreciate it. My friend Will Hobson, one of the coolest dudes I've ever met in my life, has started this coffee company as an anti-war activist. He wants to use it to bring about some change in war-torn countries. This small coffee roasting business, Peace Hawk, will sell delicious micro-batch roasted coffee online while donating at least $1 of every pound sold to worthy foreign aid organizations like Yemen Relief and Reconstruction Foundation, who has expressed support for the project. Their initial focus will be on Yemen, Ethiopian coffee. They'll also have some affordable Central American varieties available too. However, Peace Hawk will always donate at least $1 from every pound sold to worthy foreign aid organizations. When you buy Peace Hawk coffee, you're not only buying great coffee, you have a chance to support the economies of countries struggling against the effects of war, support stellar private aid foundations doing life-saving work abroad, support stateside peace activists like Will Hobson and myself and everybody who ever comes on this show. And the name Peace Hawk will be the counter to War Hawk, who is aggressively pro-war. The company will be aggressively pro-peace. Sign up for their email list today at peacehawk.coffee so you can get alerted when the thing goes live. I have this coffee right now. and we grind it up and put it in the K cup. And man, it's good coffee, dude. We have an Ethiopian blend. We also have a Southern American blend, and it comes in this really cool, like these paper, like fresh pack paper bag thing. I don't even know how to explain it, dude. It's really cool. On the next show on Thursday, I'll bring the bags down so everyone can check it out. And it's really good coffee, man. Like really, really, really good coffee. And to know that you're buying a coffee that's actually supporting like torn places, like and legit. He's not looking for like a ton of overhead. I mean, he's literally sending what he can. And so please go check out peaceout.coffee and of course our other sponsors as well. But man, we're getting to the end of this thing. Did you look up Sean Penn?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that he's in.
Jesus. Have you seen Goonies?
Yes.
Ooh, you had to think about it?
Man, yeah, like my heart stopped for
You had to think about if you've seen Goonies?
Yeah.
I've literally
was
been to
like
the house that they filmed Goonies
daughter
at.
movie?
2 years ago that I saw Goonies.
Okay.
Something
I've
like
been to
that.
the Goonies Museum.
What?
Yeah, in Astoria, on the coast, the Oregon coast.
Bucket
That's
list.
where they filmed it, and the rocky part and on the beach, and the house that Mikey and his brother lived in is still there, and you can go see it. Of course, they have signs all over like, please don't come up to our house, and because somebody owns it. But yeah, they have a Goonies museum in Astoria, and that's where they filmed it. And
I watched it with my kids.
Probably my
last
favorite.
weekend.
That's probably
first
one
time.
of my very, very favorite movies. Of course, most people's favorite movies growing up, but that movie and another movie called Natty Gann. I don't know if you remember that.
I
You
watched
remember Natty
that.
Gann?
Yeah,
The,
yeah.
like runaway kid,
Yep.
and she was a girl, and
Holy shit!
You remember that movie?
That's a deep cut, dude.
yeah, I loved that movie.
That's a
dude.
deep cut.
Those were
Yeah, I
my
watched
like
that.
probably once I got out of like Disney cartoon culture, right? Because like I used to watch. I remember. I'll never forget this. I was in Campfire Boys and Girls.
So was I.
You were in Campfire?
Yep.
Oh, dude, my mom was like literally the leader of the Campfire group. Okay. And so I was Campfire Boys and Girls because my mom wanted me. She's like, "Do you want to be a Boy Scout?" And I was like, "No, I don't just want to hang out with dudes, And she's like, "Okay, well, what about boys? Campfire's got girls too." I was like, "All right, cool, let's do it." So every Friday we'd have a meeting at the house, and before the meeting, my mom would make me a tuna sandwich, and I'd sit down and watch Peter Pan, dude. Like this is what I did. I was like 5. You know what I mean? But right after that, I got into like the movies and cinema, and I'm a total cinephile. I don't like to use the word file too much, but cinephile is a real thing. It means they're like obsessed with cinema, and I am. I've been that way my whole life. I love movies, and I enjoy entertainment. It sucks that the industry that most of our entertainment comes from is absolutely corrupt and foul. But
It sucks now.
Bad. I don't think we'll ever get we'll never get a movie like a Van Damme movie ever again, dude.
Don't say never.
If
Don't
only
say
there
never.
were
It could happen.
media
Do
overseas.
do you even know who Jean-Claude Van Damme is, dude?
I've heard the name.
Oh my god, this hurts my
The
heart.
muscles from Brussels. You don't know
What about Dolph Lundgren?
Never heard of her.
Her? He called Dolph Lundgren her? Oh,
Okay, that's
I,
it.
okay, I was gonna say that whether it was a guy or a girl.
It's Ivan Drago from the Rocky movie, dude. Are you kidding me? How do you not know this?
I've never seen Rocky.
Dude, I'm gonna make this kid sit down on my couch and watch like 3 full days of movies soon. You're gonna have to do it. We're gonna pop you some popcorn.
Gremlins?
On my couch. Gremlins?
Gremlins. You've watched Gremlins.
No, I've never seen Gremlins.
Fuck, dude.
I don't know. I could.
You failed.
By the
Someone
time I
failed.
graduated high school,
Someone failed in your life.
I don't know. It's probably 30, 40 movies.
Dude. There was my mom.
Go watch Gremlins.
My mom was very bipolar growing up, and on her manic episodes, there was like summers where we saw every single movie that came out in the movie theater.
Awesome.
Every single movie. My mom would literally buy a ticket for a movie, and then we just sneak into all the movies all day long. All day long. Because my mom was like manic, when you're manic, you want to go out and just spend all your money and just throw caution to the wind. And my mom, when she was going through her manic phases, we did shit like that. So movies were a big thing in my family. Movies, and she had a Shell gas station card, and so we'd get like tons of snacks at the Shell gas station all the time, and she just run up the credit card like crazy. And there was some silver lining to my mother's mental health issues when I was growing up. You know what I mean? But now it's funny. My mom has like completely evened out on her bipolar. Like she did it probably in her, I want to say in her early 40s. She really started evening out, and she's great. She's like, there's a funny joke. I don't know if my mom's watching, I don't know if she's ever heard me tell this joke or heard the actual person who's told this joke, but I want to say it was Bill Cosby. So I know that's, it's a bad thing, but he said, my kids love their grandmother. They love their grandmother. And I have to constantly remind my kids that their grandma is not the same woman that I grew up with. That's a little old lady trying to get back into heaven now.
Yeah.
It's true. My mom was wild growing up when I was growing up, and now she's like the sweet. She does like Lay's chip testing on her YouTube channel, and like she's got like a whole canning organization in her house now, and she makes jellies and jams and pickles, and I'm like, who are you, Mom? You know, but I love
It's a good Christian story.
No, I love it for her.
You know,
my mom
redemption.
My mom, I don't say it enough, but my mom literally busted her ass, working 3 jobs for a long time to keep a roof over mine and my sister's home as a single mother. And I'm telling you, my mom, I'm not lying to you. My mom would get up at 4:30 in the morning, go to her 8-hour day job. She'd leave there and keep books for 2 or 3 hours a night for another company. And then she'd get off from there and she'd deliver pizzas until 1 o'clock in the morning. And she would do this every single day. My mom probably got 2 to 3 hours of sleep.
And dealing with a mental illness too.
Dealing with mental illness and me as a son
kids.
who was not easy. I was
Yikes.
not easy. Okay. And my mom did this for years and years and years and years. And so I don't want to, I'm not here to disrespect my mom or talk shit. My mom was A+. I mean, for all her faults and my faults and our family's faults, my mom did everything she possibly could to make sure that we had what we needed. I love her for it. And I'm so happy that my mother has her bit of happiness now. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't a happy life for her. I know that we gave her joy and all this, but to have what she has now and be able to have that, you know, independent of us and a loving husband now who she gave up on dating entirely for 20 years to raise us. I mean, it's really good to see that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I was going to start crying because I'm just happy for my mom.
And it's a blessing. Think about this too. It's a blessing to have her around. A lot of people have lost relatives last couple of years. You know,
yeah,
we're almost at Christmas time. It's a nice Christmas message for everybody.
Christmas is rough for me, by the way.
Please appreciate your parents. For the love of God, just appreciate your parents.
Yeah.
They're still around.
Yeah, if they're still around, tell your parents.
You're so
you love them,
lucky.
man. It's important, dude. And it's cool because, you know, I think that for all my mom's, you know, little micro faults that she had growing up, I couldn't be raising 7 kids if I hadn't learned from her how to raise kids. You know what I mean? And I'm not perfect. I still have my days where I want to pull my hair out and yell and scream and punch holes in walls. And I don't do any of that. I yell sometimes, but I don't punch holes in walls or anything like that. But you know, it's, if I hadn't learned what I learned from my mother, I don't think I could do what I do now. So, definitely appreciate your parents. They're very, very important. Oh, we're getting spammed with private dating chat girls now in the chat there. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, I see that.
And the Russian girls?
That might be time. That might be time to end the show.
They're sanctioned.
Yeah, we're gonna do an after hours for a couple minutes after this. Probably talk more about JFK. But right before we go, you got anything to say?
I forgot to ask for some yup cocks in the chat. So if you could give me some cocks, that would be great.
Yeah, drop those yep cocks as super chats though. Help us out. We got to grow this show, and the way that we can grow the show is by making enough revenue to fly in big guests. And I have big guests now, literally, that want to come on the show, that have talked to me about coming on the show. So we just need money to fly them in. That's it. So if you guys can help us support the show, we'd really appreciate it. We'll get some huge guests in the studio. Way less audio problems that way for sure. And I think we're working on building the studio up a little bit bigger here soon too. It's costing me a ton of money, but we'll get there. You got anything before we go, AJ?
Oh, come find me live on TikTok. I'm past 1,000 followers.
Oh, he's doing lives.
Let's
So
go.
I'm gonna do some lives.
Showing butthole.
And yeah, if you follow me, you'll get a notification, and you can get in the box and debate me. Probably on January 6th.
I'm gonna hop
what
on
I'm on
there
right now.
and debate you.
Come on,
We
let's
probably
do it.
agree on everything though.
Let's do it.
Guys, Thursday I will have my good friend Reed Coley, the communications manager for the Libertarian National Party, the most based man on earth, will be on the show with us. He's so cool, dude. If you guys don't know him, he's been on the show before. He was actually fired by Young Americans for Liberty once our old executive director from the National Libertarian Party took over Y'all. And she fired him for being too based and going after Kamala Harris and stuff like that, which is funny because he's literally the one that helped build the Y'all brand. He's literally the guy. He had been doing it for years. And so she fired him and then hired a bunch of people, somebody from Dan Crenshaw's campaign, like these neocons and shit. And so he left, talked a bunch of shit about her on my show, and then I pushed to get him hired on as our communications manager for the National Libertarian Party. And I told him, if you get hired, your first post needs to be a middle finger across the bow at Lauren, our executive director. But I think he's too classy for that. But he's a great speaker, one of my favorite dudes. I'm very excited to have him on the show. So we will see you guys on Thursday for that amazing show. But until then, Don't forget to break the cycle.
Due to legal reasons, I just have to explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just landed in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just landed in Minecraft. But Chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just landed in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse in Minecraft, just in Minecraft. Nothing I mean, you know it. No product bidders, get your clothes from COVID.